And are we live? And with me today is something interesting day because we are going to do something interesting today. Let's see whether we are like Arvind. वहाँ पे chat भी देखना, ठीक है? एक tab खोल के रखना जहाँ पे you can read the chat also so that you will understand. So let me check whether we are live. I hope we are live. And okay, fine.
दिख रहा है right में.
Yep. So yeah, here, but we will be looking at the board. So good evening, friends. We are here because of some good occasion today. Yesterday was one tournament organized by a very famous YouTuber we all know, Samay Raina, and the tournament was related to like members only tournament. Yes, Srinivasu Gotipatti. Guys, before we go further, I would like to say that just let us know if everything is perfect, the voice and the audio and everything, and video also. Just let us know. Yes, creative chess is also there. Okay. Kunal Gupta is here. Cool. Just let us know everything is perfect so that we can go further, and we will be having some interesting things also today. Thank you. Okay, everything is fine, so we can go further. What is happening and everything. So let's go. So yesterday, as I was saying, yesterday there was one tournament by Samay Raina, and the tournament was won by my student. Here is Arvind Ramnath is here. So Arvind, how before we go further, thanks for joining me here today, and we will be okay. Sub Changasi. So we'll be having good analysis session also today, and we'll be looking at your games. So can you please tell a little bit about what was the tournament about and how it was for you, your experience in playing that tournament?
So yesterday's tournament was mainly about the members. So like all the people who had subscribed and paid for his channel, it was only for them.
Okay.
And it was a 7-round Swiss tournament, and the winner was given a chance to play against Adhiban.
Wow. So you got the chance to play against Adhiban also after winning the tournament. So as far as I know, Adhiban did not play the normal game. He played with the odds. What was the odds?
He played with the Rook odds game.
Oh, means he was not having one Rook, and he was playing against you. And what was the time to control when you played against
5 minutes blitz.
5 minutes, and you managed to win against him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, timing. What was the timing of the games? Like it was
all the games for 5 minutes.
Okay,
it started
straight to
around
okay, 5 minutes games were there, and straight finish 7 games were there. So Arvind was playing yesterday, and he played 7 games, and he won the tournament with 6.5 square, right? As far as I remember. Yeah. So Arvind Opi, I think they are your friends. Ketan Gupta is, I think, your friend, and Sandeep Sharma. Hello, yes, pranam. So guys, yeah. So we will be looking at Arvind's games and how he won the tournament, because as far as I know, like Arvind is working hard also on his chess. He is pursuing his CA exam, right? You are in the which
I'm doing inter now, second level
of CA exam, but due to COVID, he is not having the exam right now, so he is focusing only on chess. And me and Arvind are also working since quite good time.
Yeah, it's been I think 6 months from
6 months, and last year also we worked together. That's before that also we worked together.
2018.
Yeah, 2018 we worked before your CA and everything started. But once you got this gap, so since last 6 months we are working again. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm proud coach, you can say. Definitely I'm happy for his achievements. And Ashim is saying, I am COVID-19 positive, yet I am not missing a... Wow, thank you Ashim. I hope you will get well soon, and you are a fighter. It shows that you are a fighter, and definitely you will get well soon. Okay, fine. So yes, thank you very much, guys. So here we will start with our first game, which Arvind played, and mainly what we will be doing today is like we will be analyzing Arvind's game from his own perspective, and I will be asking him questions also. So guys, you also have any questions or something like that during the game, you can definitely ask. But today's session will be like analyzing the games very briefly, because all these games are blitz games, and blitz games also you should analyze sometimes, and how you can approach your games, how you can analyze, because blitz games are not always very accurate. You cannot really play accurate, but sometimes it is also, the result can also be influenced because of the time control. sometimes your opponent might be having a good position and he makes a mistake because he is in time pressure. Those kind of situations also happened in Arvind's games today, because as we were talking after the tournament, in some of the games he was very lucky. Yes, Arvind, correct?
Yeah, like some games I was a pawn up and then it blundered, but things worked out at the end.
Yeah. So we'll see what we are going to do today. So guys, whoever is facing to through this COVID-19 situation, I will just say that be strong and everything will be good. Everything will have faith, and take care of your health. That is the best thing you can do. Okay, so all blessings are there with you, whoever is going through all the hardships, because this COVID-19 is troubling each and every one of us, and I think everything will be good very soon. Okay, so guys, if you are new here, do like the stream, and we are going to see some games, and in the end we'll be looking at Arvind's game which he played against Adhiban. Also, personally speaking, I have played against Adhiban only once in team championship, and that was a normal game when we played, and the game was drawn. Means my game against Adhiban was drawn once. And in my team we were playing team championship, national team championship. In my team Sagar Shah was there, and other two strong players were also there at that time. Their names is like Shashikant Kutwal, and he is now international master, and another one of our friends Sohan Fatken. Okay, that tournament was pretty good for us, and maybe at some point we will look at my game against Adhiban also, but today we are going to see the game of Arvind. So let's start with this game. This game you were black here, and the game started with knight of 3, knight of c. You can see, right?
Yeah, I can see them.
Yeah. So g3, g6, and as far as I can see, you are going for the King's Indian setup here from the black side. Then castling was done, castle, then c4.
I want to tell one thing. I think this is the game where my opponent offered me a draw at, I think, move 4.
Move 4.
Like,
wow.
Yeah. So at this point he offered a draw around before that, after castle. Because I think we were leading the tournament at one point in the 5th round.
Okay.
And
okay, which was the first game? Maybe we can go through the first. Okay, we will go through it, but let me know whichever is the first game. We'll start with the first game also. So just 1 minute. Can you please tell me which was the first game?
The first game is the 6th one here.
Okay, fine. So we'll be looking at this game. Okay, just 1 minute. We'll go through one by one. Okay, fine. So this was the first game. Here also you were black, and the game started with e4, c6. Okay, Karokan defense. You're going for knight of 3.
d5.
Guys, we are going
actually
through
a mouse slip. I was trying to go for c5.
Oh,
I want to play Sicilian, but it stopped at c6.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So here d5 you played. So it was accidental game maybe, but your opponent is quite low rated player, maybe 900. Okay. e6. Well, when you are going for the like this c6 move, and if you get the chance to play bishop f5, you should play it. As far as I can understand this position, so e6 is little bit dubious move. I'll say e6 is not necessary in this position, but because you are getting a chance in French positions, if you are playing e6, that is fine. But in Karokan, usually if this is the situation, if you get the chance to play bishop f5, you should play bishop f5 in this case.
I was actually looking for, I think, a French structure there when I went with e6, c5, and I was thinking about maybe if I get a chance to play d4.
Okay. Yeah. Here it is completely normal position in Karokan. I'll just say this thing, because usually e5 is not played. Okay. So Vaibhav, thank you very much. Thank you. So we'll focus on the game, guys. Okay. So e6 was played. Maybe Ketan after maybe in some of the other streams we'll be talking about opening series stream I will be having. That time definitely I will be talking about English opening, but not today. Okay. I'll be having a series of streams which are related to the opening. Now we are just going through the middle game and the game analysis and all those stuff we are going to do. So bishop d3 your opponent played. Definitely it is not a good idea. I like to say that guys, whenever you play bishop d3, you restrict your own pieces, and that is not something which you should be doing, because first of all you should have more space and more room for your pieces. You should try to develop all your pieces as much as possible. So the natural move can be d4, knight c3, because after d4 the bishop also gets one good diagonal. That is the thing. So bishop d3 was played by him. You played c5, c4, and then you play knight e7 in the game. So castling knight b6, you are just getting your pieces out. That is a good thing. Queen a4, bishop d7, and queen b3. Okay,
This is
this
where I thought he went wrong. I
yeah,
felt he should have gone knight c3 there
yeah,
and
knight
or
c3
taken on
definitely.
d5 and played knight c3 because
Hmm.
the pawn on c4 is a little weak. Like
Yeah,
take the pawn and go knight c3 and
but somehow
but
I,
there's
I
always
I
knight
I
d4.
I feel like this bishop needs to come in the game. So maybe he needs to play bishop b5 and
Yeah.
d4 also.
Also, there's another hidden threat of knight b4 in this position.
Right, knight b4 followed by this is
Yeah.
hanging, because you don't have queen c2 move. Means your opponent doesn't have queen c2 move, because bishop is attacking here and knight is also controlling the c2 square. That is the main thing which is happening in this position. So definitely this was one of the possibilities, but I will prefer just going back with the bishop, because bishop on d3 is completely out of place. So queen b3 was played. Okay. Okay, so here knight a5, queen was attacked, and then you play, opponent played queen d1, then you captured here bishop c4, bishop c6, bishops are exchanged, and you are pawn up simply.
Yeah.
And the d2 pawn is also a weakness. So this is already a quite comfortable position for you as far as I can see here. Queen a4, knight g6. Obviously, you wanted to play bishop. That's why you played, correct? Or
And the
did you
e5 pawn
have?
is also there. I was looking at the e5 pawn because he can take my c4 pawn,
Uh-huh.
but in return I still get the e5 pawn and I'm a pawn up
Okay.
with no attack here.
Yes, yes. So, means you are giving one double pawn. That is a good idea here, because you need to give up the pawn which is not that much useful in the position, and you should try to get a pawn which is more useful for your opponent. So e5 is definitely a good pawn here in this position. So he captured on c4, then knight g e5, then knight e5, knight e5, and again queen b5 check was given. So he is giving a check. Bishop b pawn on b7 is also is there in the stream. I can see it. There is some lag is there. I think we are back. Back.
Yeah. So thing is, I can take with the king, but it's just that I wanted the rooks here. I think maybe in hindsight, king into d7 was better.
Yeah, means I feel like maybe we are asking the viewers also. Yeah, we are asking the viewers also here. So by which piece will you capture the d7 queen, guys? Yeah, it was a small lag, but it is gone, I think. No, okay. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think here, guys? By which piece should you capture the queen on d7? Because white is just offering everything, and black is quite comfortable. Black is having one extra pawn also here. So knight is suggested by Ketan. Anyone else? King. Okay. Satyam is suggesting king here. Well, I think somehow here king takes d7 is more logical, because in the end game, that whenever it is possible for you to play with your king, it is a good idea. And other thing is also rook is also coming in the game very quickly, because once the king gets out of the game, like the way of the rooks will be connected, and that will be good. Yeah, it is the end game, starting of the end game. Somnath, you are definitely right about this thing, and Rajkumar also. So guys, all the sessions which we had till now are it seems that it is useful for you, and you are also understanding what you should be playing. So I'm proud of you guys. You are also some kind of students to me. Yeah. So but Arvind captured with the knight. He wants to castle, he wants to keep his king safe, but that is also possible. But king d7 is definitely a better option here, right? So then knight c3 was played by white, then black castled here, knight b5 was played. This is not a useful idea. Again, in this position it is more logical to play d3 or d pawn and get the bishop in the game, as quickly as possible here, because if you don't get your pieces in the game as quickly as possible, then it will be a bad position for you. And playing the same piece again and again without going for the development is also something which is very bad. So knight b5 was played by white, then a6. Arvind just kicked this away, and knight f6 was played by Arvind. This is the most straightforward position. And rook f d8 attacking the pawn on d3, and rook d1
and the
was
pawn is, I think, gone because now he can't save it.
Yeah, he can't really save it, because your idea is to just double the rooks, right? Or
Yeah.
did you have any other option also in the position?
No, I felt it's more straightforward because I'm already one pawn up and I'm getting another pawn here.
Yeah.
And it's more easier to convert because there's nothing else here.
And the d3 pawn is actually sitting on a square where the bishop cannot really support it, and this knight also cannot support it, so only one rook is supporting, and bringing the king like king f1 king e2 is the only option which I can see from the white side. But or maybe you can put your phone on silent because it's ringing. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But even if he gets king f1, king e2, I still have some move like c4 and e5 there, as I was looking at.
Which move?
Like if I go king f1, I can go rook a d8.
Then
you
king
go king
e2.
e2, and I can play c4 here, I think. And if you go d4, I can go e5.
No, but c4, can he just capture it because d1 is
supported?
The
d1
right?
is protected.
d1 is protected. Okay, Ketan, no, Arvind is not a GM. He is my student. He's my student, guys.
But that way also, I think I can just get the knight to d5. Even bishop to b4.
I think it's not needed to play c4. You can play the position more simply.
I can go knight d5 and offer the, I think, trade of knights. Because once that gets out, it's more easier.
Okay. So is the volume, everything good, guys? Okay, before last move. So guys, is the volume and everything good? I think it is. It should be good. It should be good. Okay, so some people are not understanding. I'll just write down before your name that you are the student here. Okay. Sir, clear. Okay, clear. Great player. What happens if you donate? Nothing happens if you donate. Nothing. So here, getting back to the game here. Okay. So rook d7 was played, then bishop f4 was played, and after this we played rook a d8, and then g3 was played, and you took the pawn here, and it was more easy for you. Now you simply won the game because
I mean, here he just gave up the rook at the end, but even before that, it was clearly.
Arvind, your voice is coming very low. They are saying.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you talk now?
Hello. Is the voice clear now?
I hope that it is much more better than before. Is it better now, guys? Please let us know. Is his voice better now? I hope it is good. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay, so he this position is for black. It is very easy to play, and he won the game very easily because he is 2 pawns up. Okay, and after b takes c5, it is clearly winning for here black. So good game. Means since starting your opponent did not play that good, but you took care of the small advantages in this case, and you won the game. So okay, let me know like which was the second game. So we'll go to the next game. Which was like an interesting game. Maybe we'll look at only 3-4 games, not all the games.
So, the game against Mandar Bakshi. So that is the
this Mandy.
Yeah, Mandy 64, the king.
Yeah. Okay. So your opponent's name is Mandar Bakshi, and he is playing against you here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Just 1 minute. Mandy, yeah, this one is the game. So you are white here.
Yes.
Okay. You can see it, right? Yeah. So I'll just flip the board. Maybe you can take us through the game. I'll just play.
It started as a regular Caro-Kann game. So main line d4, d5, knight c3. Takes and bishop f5, knight g3, bishop g6. I guess it goes until like 12 moves. It's even I think till 15 moves. It's general theory. Like until knight f6, queen e2.
Okay, wait. Just knight takes e4, bishop f5. Then knight g3 went, bishop g6. You went for g4 move, h4 move. Okay. h6, then knight f3,
h5.
h5. This is the usual like Caro-Kann variation. That's what I was saying. This is the main line until now. Yeah. So here e6 is played here by him, and then you played bishop f4, queen a5, bishop d2, queen c7. Okay, this idea here. Okay. Well,
The idea behind queen a5
okay,
is
just
to
1
get
minute.
the
This great player is spamming too many times. Well, a great player, there will not be any special feature or something like that. So please, if you want to donate, you can donate. But please don't spam the chat. Okay, this is my humble request to you. I hope you'll understand that. If it's your wish, you can donate, but please don't spam the chat. That's a humble request to you. Okay. If you are enjoying the content, if you want to support, you can definitely support. Whoever wants to support, they can definitely support the channel by donating. The links are also given in the description, and you can do the super chat also. But do it with love and appreciation, nothing more than that. Okay, only if you love the content for the appreciation, then do it. Okay, so we'll get to the game now. Bishop d2.
Yeah, so the idea of queen a5 is to open the d6 square for the bishop. Like the intention of black is to get the bishop to d6, knight to f6, and to stop any control of white on the f4 square. Which is why he always goes and gives queen a5 check, and then pushes the bishop back, and then comes back to c7.
Yeah, because one more thing is that if he doesn't go for that, and if c3 is played, then what do you think like black would like to do in this position?
Black can still develop with knight f6 and then come with bishop e7, and then he castles short.
Yeah, then he castles short. But in that case, the thing is that it is a little bit delayed process, I'll say. And one more thing is there, which is there, that the knight will always come with the tempo, because it will be attacking on f4 all the time whenever knight d5 is played. So yes. And one more thing is that white will not be able to castle freely because the a2 pawn is also hanging. So this is the main reason that c3 is not played. Okay, means you will not castle on the queen side, you will definitely, means white needs to castle on the king side is in this case, but
the h pawn is also too overextended here.
Yeah,
and the rook usually needs to stay there for the defense, because usually there are two pieces that will say attack the h5 pawn.
Yes, correct. The knight as well as the queen are attacking on the h5 pawn, so you need to play. So here c3 is not that good. I hope guys you have understood this thing. Guys, if you are understanding why c3 is not that good, maybe you can tell us in the chat. If you have any questions, then please let us know. Okay, please let us know. So here you played bishop d2, dislodging this queen from the a5 square. The queen went to c7 square, and now you simply castled. So after castling, everything is quite okay here. Okay, everything is quite good because the pawn on a2 is no longer attacked, and you can even play king b1 at some point and go for c4, or the way you played in the game, the knight e4 is also one of the possibilities which you can definitely do. Okay, so knight g f6, then knight e4, okay, and then knight takes e4, queen takes e4, and then knight f6 was played by him. So queen e2, this is completely a theoretical position which is happening on the board. Right, and now bishop d6. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your g3 move. Why are you playing g3 move in this position?
It's usually played because you stop bishop f4-1 and you're trying to play c4 c5 later on in the future. So the idea is to go king b1, c4 and c5.
Yeah,
and there's also a trap where if black castles long and goes king b8, so you have enough time to play c4 c5 and go something like bishop f4 and try to pin the queen. So like you try to c7 square and the b8 square. Yeah,
means so for example, if he castles, if king b1 is played, or even if you play c4 in this position, then the idea is if king b8, then you have this deadly move which is a little bit trap in this position. That's why you have played g3 with multiple options. But why is it necessary? I have one question, maybe for the viewers it might be there, like why do you want to stop exchange of this bishop with this bishop? Why is it necessary for you?
It's not more than unnecessary. It's just that at this moment it doesn't suit, because at one point I can maybe play bishop f4 and I can have full access on this side with the queen maybe shifting to c2 to a4, because he'll castle long in most of the situations. So when I get c4 c5 in and I get bishop f4, I can go a rook lift. So for me, the
g3 move is very important for all those things.
Yeah,
this is
because
what
he's very comfortable with bishop f4 and getting knight d5 in.
Yeah, So guys, this is what I always talk about, the things like in the opening phase you need to understand why it should be played. Like you should not just play the moves just because it is a theory, you know something. You should understand the basic idea behind the moves, like why g3 is played. Like it is very very important. Like g3 is played because you have some plan of action and you need to understand the plan of action. And if you don't understand the plan of action, then playing just the moves just sake of the, because it is played like that in the opening, doesn't really do help you. Okay, so here black did not go for long castle, he played castles in this position. Yeah,
So this was the first move where I thought that it deviated from main theory. So mainline theory is you go castle long, and I either play king b1 or I play c4.
Yeah, means long castle is the main theory. Like king b1 followed by c4 is very important. So here he castled, and then opposite side castle is always something which is very tempting, I will say, that you can go for attack very soon. Like rook g1 is coming anytime, but all you need is like g file open should be there, right? G file should
and
be
the thing
open.
is, I get g4 g5 with tempo. Like even if you take the pawn on g4, then rook g1 comes with tempo.
Yes,
and even if you go f5, I always have a move like knight e5 and then f3.
Yeah, so that's
or
why
even
you
queen
played.
e6 is falling for
So whenever this f5 is pushed, but he will not play f5, but that's why you played g4. If you capture, then that this is what you were talking about. Like knight needs to go back in that case. If the knight
and
goes
you have
back, then
h6
h6 pawn will be falling in that case. And if he plays f5, then the e6 pawn is fine. Well, Soumya, you cannot just play with me. Like when I will be playing against the subscribers, maybe someday, maybe next week or something, that time you can come and play with me. Okay, so guys, if you are new here, do like the stream, because we want to see like how Arvind played in his game in yesterday's tournament, and we are trying to analyze the games in the simplest way we can do it, so that it will be useful for you also to understand some of the important things related to the opening, middle game, and how you need to analyze your games briefly, because all these games are blitz games which were played in the tournament yesterday. So I hope it is helping you also to understand small things, because we are not analyzing these games the way we analyze in the previous streams very deeply. We are analyzing the game shortly, but we are trying to understand the main things in the opening, middle game, and still there was no end game, but we will see it. Okay. Okay, so here, thank you Sandeep. Okay, thank you guys for liking the stream also. So here c5 was played by him. He did not capture on g4, and then you played g5, opening up the g file. That is a very important thing. Bishop takes g5. Well, I think knight takes g5, or even what do you think? Like here, should I go rook g1 here first?
Rook g1, I was thinking of g4 here, because I don't know if I want the pawn to be on g5 when I play rook g1.
Okay.
Because once he gets in g4, there is time for him to even go something like not knight f7 now, but he has time to regroup, because that pawn cannot be hit so easily now.
Means rook g1, you were thinking about g4 might be coming in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, Karthik is here after long time. Welcome Karthik. Welcome. So that was your reason. And what about the h6 move? Did you consider h6 move? Because it seems that opening up black's king more and more is also a good like strategy in this position. So h6 is also something good.
h6 was something I thought, but I thought maybe after taking the pawn I'll play h6, because h6 he will play g6 for sure.
Yeah, he will not definitely. If he opens up the game, then it will be very bad for him, because your rook is also coming. The other rook will also come in the game very soon, and the king will be very badly placed in that case.
So in that case, when he gets g6, I think if you take the pawn, it comes to the same position that is there in the game.
Yeah. So first you captured on g5 to get rid of all these things, and now you are going for other things. But here, the thing which you were avoiding, bishop f4 check, can be played. I think this is the best move which black can play.
He can play, but I still can get king b1. The only thing I know is that black's attack is not near.
Yeah, definitely.
Like black still has no attack on the king. No, I'll take the bishop and play king b1.
Okay, you will first capture here, but that will allow his queen to come in the game, no, Arvind? That is
but
not
I
something.
Have rook h. I was looking at something like rook h4 here, because now you can't take the pawn still.
No, we are not going to take the pawn. But the thing, what I am saying, like here, instead of giving him tempo, just play this move, so that whenever it is possible for you, you can bring the rook in the game more quickly, and his queen will not be there in the game the way it was there in the game, because even if you place this move, you have one extra move in the position. Like you can always play this move with rook g1, or this rook is also coming, so you have one extra move in the position for sure. So I will prefer playing like this instead of capturing on f4 first and then going, okay, because knight on f3 is there, but then your pieces are coming more quickly in the game. Yeah. Karthik is saying congratulations.
Thanks. The only thing I was concerned was with c takes d4 afterwards, because if the knight is on f3 instead of g5, then this d4 pawn will not fall so immediately.
Okay, what about a crazy move like knight takes e6 here? Okay, this will not work most probably, but I'm just thinking
e6, queen e6, king
and king h7, and nothing is there. Basically your rook should be there on g1, then only this will work. So without pieces, the sacrifice definitely will not work. Yeah, and his rook is also coming in the game very quickly. So guys, whenever this kind of tempting sacrifice is there, we should make sure that we have more more number of pieces wherever we are attacking. And here black is already defending everything quite comfortably. Well, I teach Arvind online. We teach online because he stays in Bangalore and I stay in Mumbai or Pune. So only online is possible. Yeah. So here bishop f4 was something. He played knight d5. He did not go for it. You played h6 and then finally he played it. Then queen can come to d3, creating the pressure on black king. Yeah, it can create the pressure. That's what Arvind is trying to do here. He is creating pressure on his opponent. And after this, he got this pawn and h7 was played, king h8. And then
so over here was when I made that, I think, rook f4, queen f6. And now I realize that this attack may not be so fruitful. Like the pawn on h7 looks good, but there's nothing further. Whereas now if I look at it, any move I have queen e5. Like I will exchange the queens.
Okay.
I'm also getting the c5 pawn. So like the next thing I did is I took the c5 pawn.
Okay.
Now in the position I became a pawn up.
Yeah, means your idea is to just exchange the queens and going for the end game.
Yeah. Because that h7 pawn is going to be a pain there. Like he cannot move freely because that pawn can promote.
And he cannot even play f6 because the pawn on g6 will be hanging all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So here d takes c5 and then b6 was played. Okay, he is also trying to create some counterplay.
Yeah, he I think thought that after takes he had something with the rooks, but the moment the queens were off the board, his major attack failed. Like he was expecting to use the queen to the b2 square, and I think once he takes idea was to go rook a5, rook h8.
Okay, means he just want to double the rooks here on the a5. But it seems that that is a good possibility from his side, but how much it is successful we'll get to see. But the thing is that as you planned in the game that you wanted to exchange the queens, if the queens are exchanged, then definitely this is not going to help him, right? So Arvind, are you there?
And then I was playing 3 versus 1. So what I realized is that even though he has 3 pawns here, they're very immobile at this point. Whereas I have a 3 versus 1 on the queen side.
Yeah, correct.
So for me, this works on my benefit. Like 2 pawns here, and if I'm able to make a connected passed pawn, it's going to be more easier to win here.
Yeah.
Like my plan is more faster than his plan.
Yeah. So New Patel is saying bishop f4 by white was not necessary. He can just play king b1 and bring the rooks without allowing black to the queen 45. That's what we talked about this thing, like here also in before position when bishop f4 was played, king b1 should be played without allowing bishop f4, queen f4 and king b1, because the queen, if you allow him, then it is not a good idea. So definitely when bishop f4 was played, here king b1 was much more stronger. Yeah, so here Arvind, they are asking about your rating. Can you please answer, Ajit?
My FIDE rating is 1602 and on chess.com it's at 1900 now.
Yeah, it is Blitz rating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his Blitz rating and his original rating is 1605 or 3.
1602.
1602. Yeah, 1602. So maybe I know that Arvind is much more stronger than 1600 because he plays quite well nowadays, and whenever the tournaments will happen, he will definitely increase his rating for sure, because in last 6 months he has improved a lot. Correct, Arvind? Do you feel like the same the way I think about your performance?
Yeah, I think the major breakthrough was the summer tournament when I played the Sunway Switches classical one.
Ah,
The one that was
Sunway Street, just
advertised on
correct, correct.
chess.com.
Yes,
I think
chess.com.
that started the whole trend because I came in the top 16, being the 83rd seed, and then from there the results started coming.
Correct, correct. But it
Also,
always boosts the confidence also when you are working regularly. Because as far as I know, you are working quite regularly every single day, and that makes the difference.
And it's all your hard work also, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm happy about it that you are enjoying the work also, and we'll continue working more. Yeah, now so guys, here in this position, Rook G1 is also coming. You are right about that thing, and Arvind exchanged the queens here because going into the end game will definitely favor white in this case, because these pawns will not just move forward because the king is stuck here because of the h7 pawn, and white's pawns are much more stronger than, because they can be pushed, and okay, there is no passed pawn as such. Well, Arvind is not overrated. He's underrated, I think. New, have you played against him? So Rook a5, Queen f6, Knight f6, and the game continued here. The knight is jumping towards that square, and you try to create. Okay, this is quite.
Over here is where he lost the grip. So I don't think he was supposed to play Knight h5 when he played Knight h5. Move 32.
Yeah, move 32, right? Okay. Yeah, Knight h5
because
shouldn't have.
Like Knight h5 removed the whole point of the h7 pawn. Like I was somewhere expecting him to go Rook h8. I had to go Rook h4. And I had to keep defending this pawn because now this pawn is under.
Yeah, Rook h8 means you wanted to play this move and defend it everywhere like that. Yeah, I think like black is not completely lost in this position, but definitely, but black's pieces are not that well coordinated. That's what I will say.
His rook on a5 looks slightly misplaced.
Yeah, misplaced. Like, this looks a little bit misplaced, and this rook is also tied down. But your pieces are also tied down to defend h7. But at some point, I think like you need to give the pawn on h7 and target the b5 pawn. If you get the b5 pawn, then it will be much more better for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Niv, he is pretty strong. That's what I will say. So knight h5 was played, and then you brought the knight here, like removing the defender, and you got the pawn here.
So the idea of knight g3 there was to, it was basically he had to give up the pawn by force, because he moved the rook away, and then h8 was queening, so you could never take the knight. If he took the knight on g3, h8 would queen, and he had to give up the rook for the for the exchange.
Yeah. So basically you got two pawns, and then it is much more easier for you, right? So we will go through the game a little bit more quickly. So guys, if you have any questions until now, you can definitely ask us. And yes, Bhavani Shankar, I'll be making more videos also, because we did 21 days series, and after this, tomorrow will be the last day of this series. We will take a little bit break after this series, means live streams will be paused for a few days, and then I will be making more videos. I hope you will watch the videos, and then after a few days we will again resume the series of live stream. So if you are enjoying this thing, do like the stream, and send me your comments also on the videos, which videos you liked and everything. You can send me the email also, which is there in the description. I'll be very happy. Yeah, so we'll go through the game now. It is more easy to win this game. f4 is played, and okay, this is just a matter of technique, and you brought the king in the game. This is very, very important that you need to bring your king up in the end game. And one more thing is that Arvind, how did you improve your end game? This like did it help you to like? I know that we have studied one book. Maybe you can talk about the book, how we studied about it. So people,
100 Endgames you must know, the book that we finished, and it basically talked about how to convert very specific endgames. Like there's a lot of rook endgames and pawn endgames. So the point here is that he has one weakness. Like my h7 pawn may look like a strength, but it's a weakness because it's tied my rooks down.
Yeah.
So at one point I will have to give it up. But in return, if I'm able to get his e6 pawn, then his f5 pawn falls. And that creates another f passer, and the b5 pawn is anyway weak. So for me, it was a fair trade to give up this h7 pawn.
Yeah. So basically, studying the concrete rook endgames definitely helps you. And guys, me and Arvind worked on the endgame quite a lot, because when we started playing chess, his endgame was not that good, and he was making little bit mistakes in the planning section also. So we started with the endgame more. We completed the 100 endgames you must know book together, and ever since that his planning also improved. You can see when the rooks were exchanged, he understood that the knight on h5 is not that well placed and he needs to exchange that knight. So he maneuvered his knight very well to g3 square and he exchanged his opponent knight. So this is what you need to understand while playing in your game. Like you should see what is most important in the position and you need to plan accordingly. So because end games are played with schematic thinking, small schemes you need to do. You cannot really think till the end. You need to go slowly and gradually. You should think in schemes. Small schemes means small plans. Okay, so okay, Karthik is saying like I have seen Arvind years back. He has improved tremendously. Good stuff. Yeah.
I think I played him once.
Well, Somnath,
Yeah.
how much time did it take Arvind? I think it took 2 months for us to complete
2
the book.
months.
Yeah,
2
we
months.
took 2 months together to complete the 100 endgames you must know book, and we looked at each and every position in that book. So definitely, it is a very good book. And in my series also, this series which we had, the endgame series, like in this 21 days, we looked at many positions from 100 endgames you must know. So guys, if you have not seen the endgame series in this 21 days, definitely watch the endgame series which we have. It will definitely help you a lot. Okay. Yes, Sarthak, thank you very much from love from Nepal. It is love from India. Yeah. So here this was more easy for you because the rook exchange and you got one pawn also and you won the game very easily. Yeah. Yeah. So here it is quite easy and you won the game. The Spill Wolf 2 months means we don't have classes every single day. Okay, we don't have classes every single day. We have classes twice in a week, so it takes time.
But overall, it would have taken around 16 classes into 2 hours, like 30 hours around.
Yeah, it took around 30 hours or something to complete the book. 35 hours, you can say.
Hours.
Yeah. Okay, so next game, which game would you like to show before we go to your game with Adhiban also? Maybe we'll look at 1 or 2 games more.
The last game is a game of choice, like it's a 3-move draw.
Okay, that game we are not going to see.
No, that's because of the tournament situation. So I was 6 out of 6.
Yeah, but before that, maybe we can look at other game because that game is definitely a very easy game for you. Yes, because
this is the game you have now.
Okay, this Aishu.
Yeah.
Aishvi, I think maybe Aishvi. So guys, this is the next game which we are going to see. So maybe before we start, you can you talk about this game a little bit, so that
so this was the game where I got a draw for, I think, at move 4. So we were leading the tournament 4 out of 4.
So
I think 5,
okay,
6
4
of
out
us
of
were
4
there.
you are leading the tournament, and this was the moment where your opponent offered you a draw.
Yeah, he offered a draw here, I think, because it's usually what, once you're out of, when you're at like total a perfect score, you usually like to draw and still keep the lead. Like you don't want to lose and then get out of the leaders, so usually like to get a draw offer soon here.
Yeah. So Arvind, here Kunal is asking you a question here, like calculation. How did you improve the calculation?
It's through a lot of practice of positions, like a lot of blindfold as well.
Yeah.
Like now, especially with chess.com having the blindfold feature, that improves it a lot. Like every class, I think me and Atul sir always just start playing blindfold games now.
Yeah, blindfold games we play a lot with each other. We play, and Arvind is improving. That's what I will say in blindfold, because initially he was not able to get quite. I think the last game which we played was 78 moves game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So last game, yesterday only, we played one blindfold game and we played till 78 moves. And at some point I forgot about my pieces where they are, and Arvind also forgot, but I remembered his pawn structure and I had one extra. Did I have any extra piece? No, pieces were equal, but I remembered his. Yeah, I think the lag is gone, guys. The lag is gone. Stream stop. Is it good? Now back, right? So guys, we were talking about the blindfold game which we played yesterday, and it was a crazy game. We played till 78 moves, so that was the longest game we played in blindfold. So we always play blindfold games, and that surely helps you to improve your calculation, because the more you see the position accurately in your mind, it helps you. So I think it's very important to play blindfold, and as well as you need to. So I have one thing which maybe it can help you in your game also. I have made one video. Okay, I have made one video which might be useful for you, so I'll just share it with you. Okay, so it's about visualization in calculation, how to improve your visualization. I have made one video, so maybe if you look at that video, it will help you for sure. So I'll be sharing your yeah, this is the link, guys. This is the link which definitely here, Karthik, maybe if you have that, share it with others also. This is the link to the video where it will help you to improve your calculation, guys. Blindfold means you will not be able to see the board, you just need to imagine and play it. It's without the pieces, it's like not looking at the board. Okay, so this is the video, guys, which will be useful for you, and we'll continue with the game now. Should we continue with the game, guys? Just let me know. If you have any question, definitely you can ask me. The pieces will not be visible in blindfold. Okay, yeah. So Arvind, let's continue with the game. Here c4 was played by your opponent, and d6, d4, and this is the king's Indian opening, right? Yeah. So here knight c3, then e5, then d takes e5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5. Okay. Oh, new. Congratulations, new. Bishop g5 was played by white, then you captured the pieces, then c6. Obviously c6 needs to be played because you need to control the d5 square.
And like over here, it looks like it's very slightly equal, but there are a lot of chances once the bishop comes to e6 because he has a c4 pawn here. And it usually should end up in an equal position at the end.
Yeah. So here Somnath has one question: in current position, white gives center, why not take the center? Well, if you are going to take the center with e4 move, you are restricting your bishop. So e4 is also played. It is not a move which white doesn't play, but if it can be avoided, then white avoids the e4 because he wants to keep the bishop open. So that's why white did not play e4. That is the main reason behind playing this move. So bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6 was played, and then here knight e4 was played, bishop g7. Somehow I feel bishop g7 is not that good here. Bishop e7 looks more better because you are controlling this knight, Arvind. I think bishop g7 definitely not that good, because this bishop on g7 will not be that useful, but on e7 it's much more useful because the other.
I was looking at f5 e4 at that moment. Like when I was playing it, I thought maybe bishop g7 will go f5.
But he will always play b3, no? He'll always play b3. He will not have that much target, because the thing is that if bishop e7 if you play, then you are restricting his knight a little bit more. Well, Somnath, that is just the opening strategy. It is not like it doesn't give any advantage. This is just the choice of opening, nothing else. So here bishop g7 you played, but I feel like bishop e7 is much more better. So knight d6, and then bishop rook d8 was played, and c5. Okay. Yeah, Arvind is my student, guys. Arvind is my student. That's why we are having this stream with him, because yesterday he played a good tournament, that is Samay Raina Members Tournament, and he won. And he got a chance to play against Adhiban also, Grandmaster Adhiban, and okay, Adhiban played the game with odds. He gave Rook odds, and then Arvind managed to win against him. Yeah, here if you manage to, but the thing is that Karthik, okay, if you capture the bishop, then the drawing possibility will be more. So usually if white wants to go for more, then white should not exchange the knight here immediately on c8, because the bishop on c8 is a little bit bad because it is defending the pawn on b7. So it doesn't make sense to bring your knight all the way to d6 and just capture it on the bishop on c8. You need to wait for a while before going for that thing. You need to wait for a while, because knight on d6 is definitely good. And once it is attacked, then you should capture knight into c8, and the game will be most probably equal, because opposite color bishops are there on the board, and I will say that it will not give any chances from both the sides, right? So here bishop f8 was played by Arvind, and then rook d3. You played f5. Still the bishop cannot move in the game because b7 pawn is always hanging. Okay. Yes, Mayur, hello. Yeah. Guys, if you are new here, do like the stream, guys. Make it 100 likes so that we'll have more fun also. So here f5 was played, rook f d1, and then e4. Finally you blocked his bishop, right?
The one thing I realized is if you have to go bishop e6, I can give up the b7 pawn and get the a2 pawn for sure, but you would always have bishop into c6 in between.
Yeah, so it's more logical to put this bishop to some kind of a halt, because this pawn structure will be quite interesting in this case, right? Like it will be good to blocking his whole bishop. So rook 3 d2 was played by him, and you finally gave up the pawn on b7 because you wanted to get the bishops out in the game. So you played bishop e6. Knight takes b7 was played, rook takes d2, rook takes d2, and then you captured the pawn on a2. But before you capture the pawn on a2, don't you think so that rook b8 was also one of the moves which you can include, because the knight will be moving in that case, and then you capture the b2 pawn, a2 pawn?
I want to do that after one move, because the idea was take this pawn, and then when he goes knight d6, I always have bishop d5, and that knight is trapped there.
Yeah, definitely. Now also the knight will be trapped. No, anyhow it cannot really come out because c4 square is not there.
Does he have f3 here?
F3.
Just looking, does he have f3? Because now bishop d5, fe4, king.
No. The pawn will be lost in that case. No, if you play bishop d5, the pawn will be lost because he has 3 attackers on e4 square. But maybe you can play e3. I think just wait for a while here. If you move the rook from this, then you can get the b2 pawn. Then you have the a pawn as the passed pawn. Means if he plays rook d3 or something like that, then you capture on this. If he captures here, then you can proceed with your pawn on a5.
Because I think I looked at this position, but I was more scared of f4 here because the c6 one is also weak. I may have to go bishop d5 back.
Yeah, bishop d5 maybe you need to play, and if f4 is played, then you can exchange the bishop.
I think over there first you'll go rook a3 in that position.
Then you will get only the c pawn.
Yeah.
But okay, if you get the c pawn, if he goes for this, going for the a7 pawn is not a good idea, because if c5 falls, then the knight on d6 will also be in a little bit bad position.
I think before f4 itself, he can play rook a3. It's not needed to go now. Like
yeah, rook a3 is definitely a better idea. But still, in that case, I think rook c2 can be played, or I can just capture the pawn on e2, and then I'll play rook c2 in that case. Next move I'll play rook c2. And the pawn on c5 is a weak pawn. Means you will capture here. I'll go rook c2. Yeah, if you want to save the pawn, you need to play rook a5. And what to do here in this position? This seems to be quite good because I have this move. Should I play this? No. Okay, check is coming. So maybe bishop e7, bishop f6, and bishop d4 followed by attacking here, because the knight cannot come in the game very quickly. Right? So yeah, maybe it was a possibility, but you did not go for it. You played bishop takes a2 first, and he played f3. You supported it, and then then you captured here. Now this bishop is quite good, even though it is supporting everything, and the king is also coming in the game. You played rook d8, e3, and this bishop is not good. So you judged the position quite well, I will say, because
and the only thing is now the only trap in this position is I cannot take rook into d6 directly.
Yeah,
because he has bishop into e4.
Yeah, if you capture here, then bishop into e4 is a good idea. So you need to be careful about this thing. So you took care of this thing by bringing your king in the game first. King f7, then he played king f2. What about this move? Look, if he plays rook d4, this is also one of the good ideas in this position, I think. He will capture your pawn on e4, right?
I'll have to give it up, but I can get rook d1, rook d2, and rook b2 pawn will fall. So I play rook into d6. No, okay. But he has bishop into e4 still.
Bishop into e4 is still there. I think this should be equal.
Yeah, I have to go king e6. But I think the pawn structure wise, I have a better option after, like, if it goes to a king and pawn endgame, where it goes
Yeah,
rook
king and
d6.
pawn endgame, you will be having the outside passed pawn. That is only thing which you have.
Also, that pawn on e3 is very weak. Like, even once I get these two pawns off the board, the d6 and the e4 pawn, e3 versus c5, I can always try to go and give up the c pawn.
Okay, here Karthik is saying like why e3 is important. I think yeah, e3 is not that important. Maybe rook d4 directly is also a possibility which can be played here in this position. There is nothing wrong in playing that. This position is just equal, I will say. This is not that very great position for black, because as I said, like what he should have done is like he should have kept the pieces on the board. He exchanged the bishop takes knight. That was not that great idea, because okay, here he got the chance and his rook is not in the game. So what Arvind should have done is like he should have brought the rook in the game as quickly as possible, and then he should have gone for everything whatever happened, because two bishops in that case, the bishop which is coming in the game, it is more better. Like if he goes for this variation, even if the two bishops are much more stronger, the bishops are coming in the game more quickly. And if the rook is on the 7th rank, it is always pressurizing the g2 bishop and he cannot play f4. So keeping the rook on the 7th rank, supporting the pawn on c6 and not exchanging the bishop on d6 is something which black needs to play if he wants to play for the advantage in this case. So definitely what Arvind played, bishop takes a2, it gave a lot of chances for his opponent, and that's why the position should have been, objectively speaking, should have been drawn. But this is the blitz game, guys. This is the blitz game, and this kind of mistakes happen because you don't understand which piece to keep on the board, which not to keep. But with more understanding, you are more understanding about the end game, you definitely can play like this if you are a little bit patient. So definitely he could have improved on this thing, but he captured on a2 without bringing the rook on a8, and that was the one of the things which his opponent got. But okay, his opponent was also not aware of this thing, that rook d4 was a good idea, and he allowed king e6, and now this was more easy because rook takes d6 is coming and there is no bishop takes e4 in the position. So Arvind is pawn up now here, and okay, this is a much more better position for him. So he attacked here, he gave up the pawn, and
like this is a thing, it should be a draw. Theoretically
yeah,
speaking, should be a draw.
yeah, it should still be. Here also I think like you shouldn't have allowed king f4 in the position. There was no need to allow king f4 in the position. So here all these things which were done, king e5 you should play, just play the move because you are pawn up in this position. Play slowly, rook b7, push your pawn, push this pawn also, put the rook on b3, pressurize him on e3, and once the position will be there, exchange the pawn on c3, you will get the passed pawn and then go for the a pawn. So that is more like, because in this position the bishop on g2 is a badly placed piece. You just keep the king on e5, bring the rook to b3, step by step. Guys, I always tell this thing that you need to play slowly and gradually in the end game by playing in the schemes, like small schemes. Here keep the king on e5, bring the rook to a better square, that is a b3 square, then push the c pawn, exchange the c pawn with the b pawn, and also along with a pawn should also be pushed forward, because this rook on d2 is a passive piece. It needs to always protect the pawn on b2, and the e3 pawn is also a weakness. So that's how you need to play slowly and gradually. But Arvind did not play slowly and gradually. He allowed his opponent a chance to capture the pawn on e4. This was his mistake. So you need to have patience while playing in the end game. Although Arvind won this game, but objectively this should have been a drawn, only because he was little bit impatient in this game. So I hope this kind of mistakes you also make in your games and you can improve on these things, because playing the end game is all about having lots of patience and understanding where to place your piece, because if you misplace your piece, then you will not get the desired position. Okay, is that cool, guys? If you have understood, Arvind, you also understood I think this thing, because you allowed him a lot of counterplay. Like you allowed
I
him.
missed the e4 pawn only. I tried a blind spot. I was trying to go for the e3 pawn. I completely missed that. I had lost grip on the e4 pawn.
Yes, e4 pawn is lost. So give me a thumbs up, guys. Give me a thumbs up on the here. Okay. So here, thumbs up mean like, that is the least you can do. Yeah, making mistake is permanent, but Karthik, what you need to do is like just like the share market, like you need to minimize your loss. Minimize your losses means in the game everybody is going to make mistake, but what you should try to do is like try to minimize your mistakes. Try to minimize your mistakes. That's what you can do. Like when you understand the position more better, then you will not make this kind of mistake which Arvind is doing. Okay, so let's go here. Yeah, thumbs up, taste the thunder. Yeah, don't unlike the stream unless and until you really dislike it. Okay, I hope you are enjoying and you are learning also along the way with some little bit smiles on our face. And okay, rook b3 was played, and Arvind, this position should have been drawn, but you are a little bit lucky. Yeah, Pawan Deshpande is also here, my friend. Okay, thanks, Pawan. So here, rook c2, d4, and a5.
This is where I calculated that it's a loss, because over here, once a5 came in, once I exchange everything and get opposition, I have one move a4.
Yeah. One more thing, like maybe we can ask this thing to viewers also. Guys, what do you think about the evaluation of the position? Here, black is on the move. Black is on the move. What do you think the evaluation should be? Because we have seen lots of endgames till now. Maybe those endgames, like related to the pawn endgame, maybe this pawn endgame with the knowledge which you had might be useful for you. So please let me know what will you play in this position which might be useful, like which might be good for you. So let's see what is your evaluation of the position and why. You should give me the variation also. Just give me the variation. Without variation, I'll not accept your answer. I'll not accept your answer. Yeah. So here, let me know. Black is on the move. Somnath Chatterjee is saying rook e3, d3, king e3, a4. Black is winning. Oh God, right. So because in that position, after you capture on e3, you have this tempo gaining move a4, because here white cannot play b3. One more thing is like wherever the white king will be going to the left or right, we will go to the other side of the pawn. Or maybe even if king f3 is played, we can still play king d4, which was happened in the game. And after this, we will be going to the g4 pawn. White will take a lot of time to capture the pawn and push the pawn. It will take a lot of time. He will be behind in playing that move, and then it will be just lost position for him. So that's what happened in the game also. Like he got the pawn and he queened the pawn first, and then it was very easy because pawn on the 6th rank is definitely winning. We have also seen that even if the pawn was on the 7th rank, it was still winning for black, and that's how he won the game. So you need to understand like when to transform the position, because this was the chance for black captured on e3 with the confidence that okay, the position. But one more thing is there, Arvind, in this position, if it doesn't capture, then white can still try to survive. Like capturing here is the biggest mistake, but white, if he understands that the pawn endgame is lost, he should not capture. He should play rook c2, and white is still fighting in the position. He's not completely lost. Yeah, he's not completely lost.
Somewhere after king e4, or even I think rook e4 first. Yeah. No, king e4 and then d3. So
but in that case, I'll play rook c5 and a5 pawn will be captured. No, means that's what I'm saying. Like white is still fighting. He's not completely like lost in the position.
He can have some fight.
Yeah, he can have some fight. So guys, I will tell you this thing also. Like when you are facing this kind of variation where you're going into the pawn end game, even if it's completely equal, just looking equal, the pawns are equal or something, you should evaluate the end game properly, because in pawn end games one move matters a lot, as it happened in the game. Like white without thinking just captured the rook and he went into the end game, but after a4 he is now lost. So this is the reason that you need to first understand where to capture, where not to capture. And basically here I will ever prefer to capture with the pawn also here, because in that case still okay, I will still say like king f3 is one of the moves which white can play, and he will keep on. But here also king d4 is coming and king d3 cannot be played, right? But maybe king g3 if you play, then okay, this is lost. Now this is lost. The pawn takes pawn is much more better because the rook is not having that many good squares. If the rook is played here, then what will happen?
Then rook b2, rook b2, rook e3.
Rook b2, rook b3 is coming. Maybe first a4, maybe. But here again, rook a4, like the rook e1 is also coming. Or he can give a check and then play rook a1. The a4 pawn will. So d3, d3 is also not so good. d3 is also not so. So the one move is there, that d3. If he plays rook d2, then king e4, then white is in zugzwang, because the pawn on e3 will be lost in that case. Once the pawn will be lost, the pawn on d3, and this rook is very passive. I think this is something which black can play, because here after d3, if he plays rook d1, then we can capture the pawn now, or we can first play king e4 and then we will capture the pawn on b2 after some time, because at some point the pawn on b2 is definitely going to fall. Yeah, d3 is much more stronger in the position, and black then will be having a better position, almost winning position. So capturing on e3 was not the best decision, but okay, your opponent did not see it, and then you won the game quite easily. So the games are always with some tricks. The games are always with some tricks, and you need to understand this kind of tricks. And okay, this is just elementary. You won the game. Okay, good night, Mayur. Yeah. So after this game, after last game, Arvind played, and that was a drawn game. And last game, because he won the tournament, Arvind got the chance to play against Adhiban, and Adhiban was playing with the Rook odds. So should we look at Adhiban like that game, Arvind?
Yes.
Yeah, Soumya, yeah. I was looking at your comment also. Yeah. So we'll look at the game which Arvind played against Adhiban, the beast, and Adhiban was playing with one rook down. Obviously, this is not that fair to play with the odds against a player, but obviously one more thing is also there, that Adhiban is much more stronger than Arvind. So he took his chance, but it did not help him that much. So let's see, where is that game against okay, this is the game. So here in this game, Arvind was black, Adhiban was white, and he is playing without the rook, guys. Okay, he's playing without the rook here. Yeah, he Adhiban was without the rook, and obviously Adhiban is very strong, very strong, and obviously he's a grandmaster. Yeah, definitely I can suggest you books. So for what you need books, please write it down, and then I can suggest you the books. So guys, we are almost there, till 100 likes can be there on the chat before we look at the game, where Fireheart 92 is Adhiban Baskaran, who is also famous for the beast, and he is playing against Arvind without the rook. So game started with e4, c5, knight f3, d6, and d4, cd4, bishop c4 was played. Okay, Arvind, you must be feeling what was your like reaction when you got to know that you are going to play against Adhiban? Please a little bit tell about that thing also.
I think that was one of the goals also for the tournament. Like when before it started, in the Samay Raina's channel, Adhiban came in the voice.
Oh.
Like he came in the Discord server. So they were there from the start of the tournament. So in between, they decided, like, instead of calling the players to live stream, they'd play the game.
Oh.
That Adhiban would play the winner. So it was pre-decided, and during the tournament, he said that he'd play with rook odds. So over there, then we immediately started playing it. And one thing I realized is, if I go e4, e5 ever against him, he's going to play something like King's Gambit, or a thing like that, where the a1 rook is not so useful, because the white attack gets like the white can get an attack very quick.
Yeah. And but he doesn't even need the rook on a1 to checkmate, right? Because if he goes for
if you go to something like Sicilian,
yeah,
like the one here, usually the a1 rook is needed, like especially in like Smith-Morra Gambit or any type of gambits you play in Sicilian, usually need both the rooks.
Okay.
So that is one position where I had thought I could at least have some chances to fight.
Yeah.
Because there he had to play with the rook on a1, but unfortunately in this game it was not there.
Yeah. Means you thought about the opening also, like which opening might give you more chances to fight. You are not thinking about the winning against him, right? Or were you thinking about winning?
So the thing is, I watched a lot of streams with odd games, especially games in with the Hikaru and all of them when they stream. So one thing I've realized is, when it's especially a major piece down, you have to exchange pieces right away. Like you should not try to go and complicate it. You should keep things simple and continuously keep exchanging pieces. Okay. Because at the end, you will eventually feel the rook on a1's presence missing.
Yeah, means he will at some point he will feel like, oh, my rook is not there on a1. Yeah. Yeah. So here knight f6 was played by you, then castle, e5, c3, and okay, he is bringing the pieces in the game. You played bishop e7. You are playing very cautiously. Castle. Now the king is safe there on that side of the board, and now h3 is played. Knight c6, and then rook d1, a6. I don't know how Adhiban gets the courage to play without the rook. But okay, he is the best. He can do anything on the board.
It's a challenge, like a lot of, because it's also 5 minutes, so there's not much time to think. Even if he'll play fast, and the point is he's going to intimidate you also, because he's a GM and he's playing with rook cards and he'll play fast. So you have to keep up with everything there.
Yes, correct. So here bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, knight d5 was played. But here somehow bishop, before playing queen c7, did you consider the move like bishop e6? Because this seems more stronger because you are controlling the d5 square, which is very important in this case.
No, but my thinking was that if he needs the d5 square, he has to exchange a piece. And I'm fine to exchange one piece here.
Okay. Means normally in normal conditions, when the rook is there on a1, I will always play bishop e6 in this position.
Yeah,
because I need to control
queen c7 also there, because if I have queen c7 in a normal position, you always have rook c1, and then knight d5 becomes a very real threat.
So here also I feel like queen c7 is not that good, but you were actually trying to exchange the pieces. That's why you went for it, and then he played g4, queen b3, queen b7. Okay. Yeah. So knight d4, he exchanged, and now f4 was played. Bishop e6, king h2. And you keep on exchanging the pieces, and Adhiban must be very frustrated, like what is happening on the right.
Yeah, because he's not able to get any attack in here.
Yeah, he is not getting any attack. So much more solid, I will say. So queen b6, g5, d3, and you played bishop e7. Why did you give up the pawn on d4? Can you please tell me?
So my idea was, I eventually saw that he would get rook d3, rook b3. And like there is a chance he'll take on b7. So I wanted to get my queen to d4.
So this was the position which you did not want it. You did not want to go in. That's why you
I wanted to go in, but I wanted to go with my queen on d4. Like my queen should be more active and should threaten on the b2 square. Because now if let's say like in the game how it happened is after d3 and when he took on b7, when I play rook b8, he's supposed to capture the rook because his b2 pawn is falling.
Yeah.
So I had to force him to play because now rook into b7, rook b8.
Correct. Now it is very difficult. Like your pieces are coming in the game, and you got the c pawn also, c file also in this case. So queen c5, h4, and you just went for the exchange. He obviously did not exchange, and then this game you gave this check and this check, and you checkmated his king. Wow. Checkmating the king like this is something. Okay, but I understand that you were playing with one extra rook, but still playing against Adhiban even with the one extra rook is not so simple, and winning the game easily.
After the match,
yeah.
Even after the match, when he was talking, like we were having that talk on the position, and he was expecting, like he was like, when you play e4, e5, a lot in the olden days, people used to play rook cards games, like Morphy and a lot of the grandmasters, world champions. Capablanca, everyone, and they used to play rook card games. It usually be e4 and e5. So they would have something like a king's gambit or an Ivan's gambit played. And like even though the rook on a1 is not there, usually don't use it. So like a lot of times the grandmaster even used to win with those rook card games.
Yeah, so I think opening choice also helped you a lot by to play this game. And the final position is something picturesque position, like you checkmated White's king in that zone of the board just with the one pawn checkmate is always a dream.
I was actually going heart racing when I was calculating the variation, because when I saw queen a6, I was like, it's not right.
Yeah,
there has to be some mate.
Yeah, in this position your heartbeats must be very, very big, right?
Yeah, I was like rook c3, king g4, and I was like, is there a mate? Later on I realized that queen g2 was even more easier, because after queen d1 there's one more move you can play queen e2. Queen g2 was even more forcing. King f5 and g6.
Yeah, so heart rate 500. People are saying heart rate 500. That too against the beast. Obviously, it's not so easy, guys, to play this kind of a game where Arvind played very nicely. Like he did not make big mistakes or anything. He kept on playing the game very logically. This is what is very necessary. Like I like this thing in Arvind's game also. He calculates very well. He plays logical moves, and that's why playing against him in blitz, because I have played against him many times in our classes also we play, and he plays quite good. but once he is not winning, he last time we know, last time, like yesterday only, we played a hyper bullet. That 30-second games, he forces me to win because I don't play bullet on anything, but he likes to play bullet sometimes, and he likes it. And so in the starting he won, then it like, okay, I feel like, okay, I need to win, and then I started playing a little bit faster, because 30-second you will be getting in hyper bullet, and it's crazy to play in that game also. So congratulations, Arvind, for winning the tournament and also playing this game very nicely. Like, you choose the opening very wisely, then you played very well, exchanging the pieces at the right moment. You did not allow the counter play which Adhiban wanted in the game. So this was a very good game.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So is he Arvind? No, Rishikesh, his name you can definitely read on the screen. His name is Arvind Ramnath. He is my student. Queen G2, King H5, Queen F3, G6, Bishop F8 mate, another good combi. Yeah. So guys, do like the stream if you like the way Arvind played against Adhiban also, because this was not so easy to play against Adhiban. When you are playing against him, you feel something like he's definitely very strong player. And I have also played against Adhiban in real game, in the tournament game, and I know the pressure also. Like he plays very well. Intimidate his opponent when we are playing against him on the board. So it's a good achievement, I'll say. Where you play chess for practice? Well, you can play chess on chess.com and also on Leeches also, guys. There are different websites where you can play. Yeah, like the stream, guys. Let's make it 100. Yeah, make it 100, guys. And thank you, Butterscotch. Yeah, I am a little bit proud coach today because of Arvind, and that's why I brought him on the stream also, because playing in any tournament, winning that tournament is not so easy. It gives you lots of confidence when you win the tournament. And Arvind, I will just tell you one thing on the stream also, that this is just the beginning. You need to work very hard if you want to win little bit bigger tournaments. These are not that big tournaments. The tournament which you won is not that big, so you should not get too much happy about it, but you should work more hard now, because this whatever is here, because we looked at the games also, you made some mistakes. You know now where you can improve the game. You can improve the game in your calculation a little bit, planning in the end game, that also you can improve. The technique in the end game you can improve. So these things we need to work on, and maybe in the future we will work on those things more, and you need to work on other aspects of the game also. So just take it as a little step towards something bigger. So be more motivated to work hard. Okay.
Yeah, I'd actually first tell thank you to you, because you have been an amazing coach. It's like, it makes teaching very easy for us. Like, you break down things very simple. Like, it goes to the crux, to the fundamentals, and we're able to understand things there. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. This is the first time some of my student is saying something to me like this, so I don't know what to say, but I'll just say, like, it's my always pleasure to work with the students, and I always try to share my knowledge and love for the game. That's what I try to do. Like, I like to explain. I know this thing, but I try to explain the position the most I can, like the easiest way I can. Okay, so thank you very much for playing, and guys also thank you. And then thanks for joining here. Question A: which opening you play? Well, Quest A is asking here, like, Atul, if you can name some good books on opening and middle game. Well, on opening quest, I will say that books are not that useful. You should look at good games of good players who play that opening and understand how they play in the middle game. That will be more useful, because as I can see that you might be a beginner or intermediate player, so at this level openings are not that much helpful for you. You should work on the fundamentals of the game, the main thing which is there, that is end game and middle game. You need to work more. First you understand how to calculate in the game. First you understand how to build up your foundation, and after that you should go for the end game. Because it is not my thinking, even the great Capablanca also said this thing, that if you really want to improve your game, you should start with the end game. Okay, yeah. So, and for middle game, I will suggest you some of the books, like Jeremy Silman's book is good. For endgame also, Jeremy Silman is one of my favorite author. And then another Artur Yusupo series is good. like build up your chess, then boost your chess, then excel in your chess. This series of 9 books or 10 books is also good. The name of the author is Artur Yusupo. Okay, and definitely you can do it. And thank you, Mahesh. Subscribers tournament karo sarji. Yes, definitely, Karthik, we are going to have a subscribers tournament in the next week. Probably Saturday or Sunday we will be having subscribers tournament. And for that thing, I'll be putting in the community the link to Discord, because on Discord we will be having the registrations, and I will be creating one link in my Leeches account also, where you can join the tournament link, and everything will be posted very soon. And we'll have the tournament of subscribers next week, probably on Discord link. I'm going to first of all I need to create Discord link, and then definitely I'll be doing it in 1 or 2 days. You will get the Discord link along with my Leeches link, where you can join the tournament, guys. I'll be posting it on my videos also, in the description, and also in the community. So look out for the community tab in my channel, where you will get the Discord as well as the tournament link. Most probably on next Saturday or Sunday we'll be having the subscribers tournament. Okay, so I hope that more and more people will come there and try to win the tournament, and Arvind will also be there to play against you. Okay, I'll be creating Discord server tonight or tomorrow. I'll definitely put it in 1 or 2 days. Okay. Definitely I'll make some video also. So guys, thank you very much for I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you enjoyed the games also, and if you like the stream, do share it with all your friends. And one more thing is that tomorrow we will be having the 21st and the last session of this series, and tomorrow my friend Grandmaster Sham Sundar is also going to join me. So we will analyze something cool tomorrow. And Grandmaster Sham Sundar was there with me in the Olympiad also. Many people loved his commentary when we did it together. And tomorrow also we will be coming up with some interesting topic. So don't forget to join me tomorrow for the 21st day with Grandmaster Sham Sundar. Okay. With Grandmaster Sham Sundar. So will we be there tomorrow? Just let me know. But tomorrow will be a special day with Sham Sundar. Okay, I hope you will join me tomorrow. So before you leave, join the stream like tomorrow, and like the stream also. And okay, Arvind, thanks for joining me. Okay,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, so let's see how much we can do it in the next coming days, and I hope that you will work more harder, because all these things should inspire you to work more harder. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, after this 21 days I will be looking at what series I will be planning. So till that moment, come tomorrow. See you. Good night, guys. Thank you very much.